Rowena Dooley asking Sol citizens to report for duty. Rowena Dooley asking Sol citizens to report for duty.
Hey, greetings, and welcome back to Soul Voices. I'm GriffinGamingRPG, and we're back. It's February 2nd, 3rd, February 3rd. And it's been a while since I've been here, so it's good to see all of you here. I can't see who all is checked in already. I see Pops and Space is here. North End Trooper is here. New Soul Sounds is here. Thank you guys for being here on my first day back for 2954 with Soul Voices. I was back last week with Soul Citizens to sit in on a show last week, and some of you guys know I have been on hiatus since, wow, I've been gone almost 6 weeks now that I think about it. I think, almost 6, Christmas, New Year's, and then through January. So yeah, it's been a little while since I've seen you guys, but I'm so happy to be back with you. Happy New Year to you, Jay. Good to see you. Yeah, it has been a little bit. So here today we're going to kind of kick things off. Gladestone, what's going on, Glade? We are going to have an abbreviated show today. Unfortunately, I had an appointment that was set up a month ago for this afternoon. An hour from now I'm supposed to be there, but I'm going to stay here for an hour because it's going to take me 15 minutes to get to it, but there's a meeting I have to attend. But I am going to still try to squeeze in 3 topics today for us to discuss. So if I seem to be moving fast or kind of pushing things forward, just understand that's why, because I do want to kind of cover a lot of ground, because a lot has been happening in the Star Citizen community. And so I do want to kind of touch on it. But as always, we kind of want to warm up with a real easy one. So let's go ahead and jump over to our very first topic for today. And this actually, I'm starting out, I'm not doing Spectrum today, I'm actually doing Reddit today, which is unusual, right? But this is a post that I saw from this guy named Acceptable Bid 1019. I'm sorry I don't have his name on the screen, but the title of his post was, "I'm new and I have no money, I'm dying a lot, I'm not following a guide, and yet," and that's what he says. So there, you know what, I actually do have it in there. You know what, I just didn't put the break in there. Jeez, oh Pete, give me 1 second, because I want this to read correctly, because I actually think this is a very cool post, particularly for kicking off this year. So there we go. Whoops, I gotta go down a little bit further. Post there we go. All right, great. All right, so let's go ahead and read this. There's a little bit here to read. This has probably been, oh, by the way, don't forget, if you want to come in, you can click on the link that pops up that says you can come in and join if you have a comment, a thought, a question in relation to the topics that we're talking about today. So I forgot to mention that. So feel free to come in and talk with me. I'd love to have you come in and talk with me today. This has probably been one of my favorite new player experiences ever. I think I'm getting the hang of it. I'm just allowing myself to fail at each new thing I do and learn from there. It's the most patient I've been with a game in a long time, and that's because I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no money, and that's cool. If I have two takeaways so far, it's that the in-game community is awesome, and that despite its advertised flaws, it's not nearly as bad as I had expected. People were talking about this like this is a buggy, unplayable mess. It's really immersive from what I've experienced so far. Maybe my expectations were just low, but they've been exceeded by a good margin. Two players saw me penniless and suitless in a New Babbage yesterday, my first day, and decided to take me along with them and show me some of the mechanics. They gave me a suit and off we went. I'm still penniless. My ship is the equivalent of an office chair with a fire extinguisher on it, and I'm floating around in space on my own, but I'm enjoying myself. I feel immersed in the world. That's all. Just a new player experience. I haven't followed this game really. I just upgraded my hardware and decided to give it a go near blind, and I'm happy with how it's going so far. If anyone has any tips, I'll gladly take them. Yeah, this was a very interesting post. You know, Reddit can be known for having a lot of people feeling a certain kind of way and complaining about Star Citizen, but there are good posts out there. And this one, you know, in retrospect, I'm looking at the progress of the game, where the game is at right now in its current state. And it was interesting to hear this person's perception of what they had heard about the game. And then once they got into the game, in their own words, saying that the game isn't as bad as people say it is. And yes, it does have its flaws. Yes, it still has its aspects of being developed. But the person says that they are thoroughly enjoying themselves. So my question to you guys today is, you know, in light of hearing someone say this, someone who comes to the game fresh, brand new, says that they think that the community is great. You know, I often feel like there are times when we forget about the good sides or the good things that take place in the Star Citizen community and with the development of Star Citizen. And we get so focused on the negative things that we actually kind of forget, like, there's actually some cool stuff out here that we can do. There's a lot of things I think we take for granted. So my question to you guys today is, in retrospect, for the whatever time frame you've been in Star Citizen, whether it's been 1 month or 1 year or 5 years, or if you've been here to 11 years, actually it's 12 years now. Wow. If you've been around that long, how do you feel about the progress of where things are right now? Do you feel that this game is a game now that you can tell people, you know what, I got this game that I've been interested in for a while and I haven't said anything to you about it, but I think you should try it out? Or do you think that it's still too rough? You know, and I'm trying to say it, be objective about it, right? Because, you know, it's kind of easy to feel a certain kind of way about this game if you've been in it any length of time. So I am curious, do any of you feel that you're at the place now where you would invite somebody to watch a trailer or play the game? I know I personally for years have never really invited any of my gaming people. I've got like a lot of sci-fi nuts that I think like in the Star Trek, Star Wars and stuff like that I thought would like love this. But because they don't understand enough about computers in development, I felt like it would be probably, yeah, I'll get their referral, but after that, I'll lose them because it'll just be too much for them to take on. So that's my question. Do you guys think that the game is in a good place now where you could invite some friends, maybe some people that you think could hang with the game? Or do you think it's still too far away from that? Let's see. We don't have anybody in chat, so I will look at what chat is saying. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Fast Car, for putting that in. Not yet. Still needs more areas and more systems. Okay. So you think that it needs more real estate, Glade? Is that what I'm kind of hearing? Because it seems like that might be what you're saying, that there's not, that Stanton probably isn't enough. At least I think that's what he might be trying to say. Still too buggy. Shady Face says, nope, still too buggy. Okay, Glade, got you. You said yes. Okay. All right. No, I would revisit that question personally after 323. So you're going to think that the next patch is going to fix it, North End? Okay. Maybe so. Maybe so. All right. Let me, yeah, Admiral, I see him. Yeah. I'm just still reading the chat. Believe me, I'm aware. Thanks. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Togi and, start with him, and then we're going to work our way through. Togi, how are you?
What up?
I haven't talked to you in so long.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
I will keep this short and sweet.
Okay.
I've been 1 year away from telling my friends about Star Citizen for the last 7 years.
I hear you. Okay, fair enough. You still
Yeah,
think
let's revisit the question in a year.
okay, okay. That's fair. That's fair. You think there's still it ain't there yet. It ain't there. It's getting
Yep.
there, but it ain't there. Okay.
Yep.
Let me ask you a
When we get
question.
server meshing.
Do you
Yep.
have some people that you like when you feel it's in a good place? Are there people that you do have that you would actually invite to play the game?
Oh, I ran into one of my friends from high school.
Okay.
We ended up talking about video games because he
Mhm.
worked at a video game store.
Hmm.
And I mentioned that I played it, and he asked how it was.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh well, I got your number, so like I'll text you when there's a free fly.
Yeah.
And every time there's a free fly, I'm like, no.
You'll do it. Okay.
No,
Fair,
no.
fair enough. I haven't done it either, so I get it. I get it. Okay, but that's good to know. The person we read, they're somebody who came in and everybody has their different experiences. We could probably find just as much, if not more, people who post and say, I tried the game and I didn't like it, right? So, but it was just interesting to hear this guy's perspective on it. Okay, thank you, Togi. Appreciate it. All right, let's bring in Pops in space next. Pops, you there?
Yes, I am.
How are you?
How are you?
Good,
Okay,
good.
okay, great.
What are your thoughts?
Let's see. Do I have? I'm going to say no because
Okay.
I'm going to wait for beta because most of the people that I know, I have really one person in particular. I have told them about the game, but I've actually told them, not to come in because their mental thought is really some people don't mind testing games just to get in the game to see what's going on, but this particular person, she's not she's not interested in testing. She's more of I want more of
the polished finished thing.
I'm more of a complete game, something that that's not going to change. Features going to is in polish or something
I got you.
like that.
Okay, so you want somebody where the game is much more feature complete, stable. They're not in it for the whole test aspect. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, Pops. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All righty. Let's bring in North End Trooper. North End, you there?
Yes, sir. How are you been?
Hey, how you been, buddy?
Good. Happy New Year.
Good. Same to you. Good to hear you.
Oh, thank you. Just kind of defend my comment a little bit quickly in the chat. I said I would probably revisit the 3.23 is because the amount of quality of life, and I'm using air quotes on this, that we dropped, it should bring up the speed of the game to today's standards, not the standard 2015.
Yep.
For me, I'm not, with what we are seeing coming down the chute, me personally would be hesitant to put anybody on this game because they're going to be interacting with technology that's close to 8 years old now. This summer, they're going to be working with fleshed out, polished UIs that have been developed in the last 4 years.
Okay.
So
that's fair. I think that's a fair assessment. In fact, we're going to be talking about those features as our next point. So thank you for bringing that up. Okay.
Outstanding. Thank you.
All right, buddy. Thanks again. Good to hear. I haven't talked to you in so long. Jeez, OP. Okay, let me bring in Fist to Face. Fist, you there?
Hello? Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking to Admiral up there. Apologies. Yeah, how are you?
Okay.
Yeah, so that kind of jarred me. Apologies. Yeah, so how you doing, Griff?
Okay.
Welcome back. So yeah, for me, it depends on the person though.
Okay.
It really depends on the person. If I know that person can handle testing, can handle the bugs, can handle doing stuff like that, then yeah. But most of the people that I know are pretty much already gamers and or in that realm. They already know about the game and they're just like, I'll check it out when it gets to that point. So
all right.
So pretty much I would have to
school.
say, in my opinion, I mean, like you said, it depends on the person.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Thanks, Fist. All right. Last but not least, let's bring in Admiral Kusanagi. Admiral.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
I would bring in somebody. I think that, I mean, look at Starfield. I always like bringing this up. That's, to me, it's Fallout 4. And that is older tech than what is in the game right now. I think that Star Citizen is, although slightly dated here or there, it's actually a really, it's probably a better game than most finished games. And it's an alpha development.
Okay.
Similar to how Scum is in alpha development, and it's also decent for what it has at its current time. So at its current time, right now, it's got decent stuff to do. But last night, a bunch of us went and we jumped 5 ships going in one direction, one quantum leap, whatever. And that was cool. It was fun. Everybody was looking at it and was like, "Oh, look at this!" And that's crazy. And all our quantum drive simulations were merged, so we all had different, like, a collage of colors that we normally wouldn't see, just if we were using one ship. So we were all surprised by that. So there's still stuff in the game to find and explore. It is limiting, though, on people's systems, though, so their computers. And of course, you have to warn people about its limitations, its lag and stuff like that. But as long as you don't play it every day I feel like as long as people have breaks and take it like they should take it, then they'd be okay.
So let me ask you the part 2 of the example you gave. You gave the example of the great experience that we had flying through as a group in Quantum.
Yeah.
Till the end of the story.
What of the night?
What was the end of our mission? What happened?
Well, we ended up doing a siege, and we all ended up in prison because it timed out, and it didn't let us know we were getting timed out.
Right,
is what we think happened.
And what happened after that happened? What did we do?
We all had our guns, first of all, on us in prison, and then we lost those guns.
And what happened? What happened in the end? In the end, what happened? Did we play again?
We said screw it, and we're done for the night. I think that's where you're going.
That's
and everybody
exactly where I'm going,
yeah,
right?
I'm done.
So there is another side. There's the joyous side of what happened at the beginning of the mission, and then there was the end where there was a little bit of exasperation, and people were like, "Nah, I don't think I'm going to do this again." Right? So it's
exactly.
It's a flip of the coin.
There's this realization of what is in the game.
Yes, it's a flip of the coin,
and what you can do. But the graphic. You said this before. It's like you had an older graphics card and you liked playing the game, and then correct me if I'm wrong. Then you got a new graphics card, and you're like, "Oh my god! Like I didn't know it looked like this. And I didn't know it looked like that." And it's just like it's these surprising elements of Star Citizen as it's being created, as it's being updated. That it's just like, whoa! I didn't know this was a thing.
Yeah,
and that's the cool thing. Like last night, we didn't know like the colors would merge in Quantum. It makes sense now, I guess. But it was just like to see 5 different ships all next to each other, and you had this like just collage of colors. It was just really cool.
It was.
I posted here.
It was very cool. All right, Admiral, I appreciate that. Thanks for telling that story. It's a good story from last night. All righty, gang. We knocked that one out. That was just to get us warmed up. Once again, thank you guys for being here. Don't forget that you can come in and share your thoughts on the topics that we're talking about by clicking on the link that comes up. And hopefully you'll be able to come in and share with me. Thank you for those who came in already. Those are some familiar voices. I say familiar faces for some because I've met some of them. But thank you guys for stopping in. Okay, let's go ahead and jump to our second topic. As you guys know, this week was a big week for Star Citizen. Inside Star Citizen came back this week. Star Citizen Live came back this week. Everybody had been on hiatus. I've been on hiatus. They've been on hiatus, not because of each other, but they were on hiatus. This was the longest run, I think, almost that they've been on. I think maybe one other time they ran long, but they were gone since end of year. They took all of January. Sometimes they've come back like the last week in January, even the third week of January in the past. But this time they didn't kick things back off till February. Now, mind you, they've been back in the studio because we rated Jake a couple weeks ago or a week ago, and Jake said, "Oh, I've been back in the office." So it's not that some of them weren't working, but as far as their outward public face to us, everything started back this week. And as you guys know, on ISC, there were 2 topics that they talked about in particular. One was the new EVA system, and then one was the new, I'm going to call it the PIE versus the PIS, the PI system, the personal interaction experience that they're doing. S is, I think, the personal interaction system. So if you want to go that way. But I want to kind of talk about some of the things that came up on both of those shows and get you guys feedback on this. This is for update 3.23. As you guys know, Eva Cotty has already gotten this patch. They've begun working on some of the elements of it. I don't know if everybody knows this, but Evocati, maybe some of you guys do. I'm sure if you guys have looked at Evocati notes before, maybe you figured this out. But Evocati doesn't always get everything at once. Sometimes everything's kind of phased in because they want them to focus in on certain things, just like they do with us. So sometimes maybe 2 or 3 items are in, the rest aren't in. Then the next patch they get more stuff, and they keep working their way through until they get through everything, and then it comes to us. So here are some of the things that were listed that came up. I don't know if this is a comprehensive list. I pulled this from Reddit, so the person may not have gotten everything, but I was lazy and I didn't feel like going back and writing everything down. So some of the things that they list here are the new EVA. This is actually EVA 3.0, if I'm not mistaken. The new personal interaction system, dynamic crosshairs, the master modes. All weapons will be gimbaled, and they've made very clear to let you know that obviously weapons that are obviously not gimbal can be gimbaled will be gimbaled. So like the railgun on the Idris, the nose gun on the Harbingers, or the Warden, what do they call those things? I can't think of the name of those ships, but you guys know what I mean. The Wardens and all those, they won't be, but any other ones will be. If they can be gimbaled, they'll be gimbaled. Distribution centers, big conversation about distribution centers. New FPS scopes. There's going to be new shopping app coming up. The new star map. Talked about that. Everybody's excited about that. There are new missions coming in. Freight elevators are coming in. Somebody spelled freight wrong, I think. Instanced hangars are in. Let's see. New character creator. They talked about the character creator, the new one coming in with how you'll be able to move and fix your face and stuff. New weapons reloading and packing. We talked about that. New UI with mini maps and compasses, and that was really interesting to hear about. And then new ship prices. That's going to be the real heartbreaker. I know I can't wait till that gets in the game. So these are some of the new things that they're talking about in 3.23 that are going to be coming up. And if you want to come in and talk about anything in here on this list, basically my question to you is, what excites you about what you heard this week, whether it's an ISC or SCL? They even talked a little bit about the economy yesterday on SCL. But yeah, if there's something on this list that grabs you, the thing that you say, wow, that's the thing I'm looking for. Give me 1 or 2. Don't give me 5, guys. Don't give me 6, because like I said, time's limited today. But give me like 1 or 2 things that stick out to you as this is what I've been looking forward to, or I saw this at CitizenCon. I didn't know they were going to deliver it in 3.23, whatever the case may be. So we got Pops in space. He is here. Let me bring him in. Pops, you there?
Yeah, yes, I am.
Yes, sir. What you got?
What do you know about the shopping app? That is really interesting.
They just talked a little bit about the shopping app. They didn't give any great detail about it, other than there was going to be a new way of doing purchases, if I'm remembering correctly. God, my memory's already bad. I watched SCL again the second time today, and still don't remember exactly what they said. I just knew that they said there was going to be a new process of buying things in the game. And I'm going to assume, I shouldn't assume this. If you remember when they brought in the new kiosks, remember how they have a thing now when you buy stuff? Before you used to buy something, right, everything went into your general inventory, right? Then they expanded it further to say, well, if you want something delivered to a particular ship, if that ship was moored there or docked at that location, you could say, send these items directly to my ship. And I'm going to push a little bit and hope that they're going to do some things in relation to us being able to have our hangars, right? Where you can also have things sent there if you want to store things. So if you want to buy, I'm just picking a random number, 20 rifles, right? You'll be able to say, send these to my hangar. You know what I mean? I'm hoping that it's something that expands it even further, because it seems like they're trying to get the inventory system more refined and more practical. We've gotten used to having that bag of holding from back in the day where everything was someplace. But I think as this physicalization of cargo and items that you have gets bigger and bigger, your inventory, the way you inventory is going to change. Am I making sense? Yeah. When we get a wipe, everything goes back to your home planet, right? But that's because persistence, at least those things stay in the game, but they go back to your home planet. But without wipes later on, your stuff could be scattered throughout the verse, right? And so I would hope that when we do our shopping, that, we'd still have that much more control over items that we purchase. But we also know, like they said, the economy is a factor in here. Prices are going to go up on ships. And I'm also assuming that eventually prices on items that we buy are going to become more realistic too, because stuff is still dirt cheap pretty much in the game, Yeah. But they could change the value of AUE and keep the prices the same, and that would we'd feel it either way.
Okay.
Okay.
I would ask another question, but I don't
Sure.
want to hold you up.
You can. No, go ahead. Go ahead. You can ask another question.
Oh, no, I'm just wondering if we're going to get anything like on our Mobi-Glass, more like an Amazon.
There,
type of-
I don't know. That's a very good question. They did. Okay. You may have heard that there was some rumors about some stuff that was in the code that was seen, and the map is one of the things. The Mobi-Glass is another. And again, the Mobi-Glass is supposed to be basically like a smartwatch. You know what I mean? But with apps, right? And you change the apps, so your watch stays the same, but you can change what type of functions that particular Mobi-Glass has. There was some interesting stuff that they talked about yesterday, Pops, when they were talking about the helmets and what you'll be able to see. And they gave an example of how a combat helmet's HUD will be different from a person who's wearing something for engineering, right? Some information will be available to a combat person, such as like when you're talking about the weapons restocking and the bullets and all that stuff, that will be in a combat helmet. But if you're in engineering, that's not going to be in there, right? So I'm going to assume that the apps are going to be kind of the same way. Whatever app you need, that's what you bring up to do a certain task or job. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what we're going to do with that. Okay. Cool. All right, buddy. Thank you much. Alrighty, let's bring in Northian. I'm just going down the list here, gang. I don't know who is first. Northian, you back?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. What you got?
So I think the big takeaway, at least for this ISC, is probably for me is the economy. They put an economy team late summer last year, and I think this is me personally saying this is going to be a foreshadow for the underlying system and the quantum system. So they came out and said that we're the economy team. We're going to start we're going to be changing the in-game currency. And what I think they're going to be doing is they're going to be asking for feedback so they can build the baseline for the quantum system to actually work off for commodity pricing. They can't put that in because they need to finagle it to get it down. So for me, I think the economy is going to be that's the big one for me thus far. I'm waiting for hacking to be talked about, please.
Yeah, there were rumors after CitizenCon. One of the questions that came up at CitizenCon and after CitizenCon was, we didn't see Tony Z, right? And we know that everybody's been anticipating quantum and the whole economy thing, and there have been complete silence. But then there was rumors that I heard and some other people heard that this year there will be some information coming out and that there's actually going to be something that Tony Z is going to present. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know, y'all. My sources could be wrong. But the fact that they did, for one of the first times, not bring Tony in, but bring members of the economy team in and let them talk was interesting. In fact, the shows this week were really interesting because Disco made a point of mentioning that many of these people who had been pulled to work on Squadron 42 over the last 2 to 3 years are now, as we know this already, have been moved back to now work on the persistent universe. So we saw a lot of new faces and names that we hadn't seen before. And before, where Tony Z might have been representing, the aspect of quantum economy, now that they've got his staff, the people who are coming over now and talking about it in greater, in more refined detail. So to your point, I would agree. It is important that economy gets implemented now, because with us getting these new things, it's not meaningful if our purpose for being in the verse for many people is to just, even if you're not trying to be a mogul, you are trying to survive and live in the universe, and the economy needs to be balanced. And so I agree. I think this is the year that we're going to see some things that become much more, as they said, more solidified in relation to it. And I hope that we get more of it. That's what I got to say to that.
It's also going to kind of influencing where you're going to stay most of the time. If you have a specific brand you like, or the type of career that game loop you choose, you're going to be there. But if the prices don't match that, then why you're going to hang around that area?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've already done a lot of testing with the economy. I mean, some people think that they haven't been doing anything, but they obviously have, because, for example, over this last year, they did several things. One, they scattered items throughout the verse. Remember before, you used to be able to go one place and get just about everything? Well, they started spreading stuff out around the verse. Secondly, they started making certain things items that could only be lootable. You could not purchase them in the verse anymore. Things that we were used to going to the store and buy, now you have to get them from a loot. And that's everything from ship weapons to personal weapons, right? Even certain items like foods and drinks you can get in certain places, and you can't get them everywhere. Some places only have the beef jerky and a bottle of water. Other places have a full stock. So I'm sure that some of that has been helpful in some ways for the economy. But to your point, once we start getting other locations, and I'm not just talking about Pyro, but I'm talking about Pyro and Magnus and Terra. I think that when we log into the game, it will be a matter of me saying multiple reasons for why I log into some place. It may not be because of inventory. Maybe it's because of security reasons I move there. Maybe there are reasons there because the trade lanes are better there. For other places, maybe I move there because the missions are better. So instead of logging in at Microtech or Hurston, now when we start the game, I'm hoping, and I could be wrong about this, but I'm hoping that they'll say, where do you want your home to be? Do you want to pick Terra? Do you want to pick Nyx? Do you want to pick Pyro? And that's where you'll come in. And then you can isolate down to a particular planet that you want to go to. But that's much further down the road if they decide to do that, right? But I'm hoping that this microcosm of what we've seen them do in Stanton gets expanded into the verse later on. So, okay. Economy, I'm with you, brother. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
All righty. Let's bring in Fist to Face. Fist.
Hey, what's happening, Griff?
Yes,
I'll say my favorite. Everything is great in this one, but I'll say my favorite is the new star map.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I just and I also say the mini maps.
Okay.
The compass.
Okay.
Compass.
Okay.
So too.
Yeah, compass definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, you would sit back and say, well, other games have these things already, but to the extent of this game, for what they are trying to do, it is a big milestone.
Yeah,
for me.
It's funny you say that because, we all saw the demonstration. Well, most of us saw the demonstration at CitizenCon with the new star map, and the star map has been the bane of, for years. I mean, I'm so used to it, I don't think about it anymore, and I don't think about it about, I can't do this and I can't do that. I just know it is what it is, right? But I also know what it could be, especially after what we saw in CitizenCon. And obviously, it's making everybody lick their chops and saying, wow, this map is now, it goes from the macro to the micro now, right? It's all these great things you can do. But they were very clear about the mini map, though, that the mini map would be area specific. Some areas would not have any access of POIs and things like that, where others would be. And I think they gave it, right, if I'm remembering correctly, they gave an example of when you went to one of the distribution centers, you go to the computer and you could pull the map down into your mobiGlas, right? So that was one of the ways that you could get information if you wanted to, or you could just eyeball it. But I think that the third one you mentioned is like always vital, which is compass headings, right? I know we were doing Siege last night and someone was trying to say, they're over there. I'm like, where's there? And then they're like, at 11, I'm saying 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. But even when I said that, I was assuming that they were facing the same direction I was. Because what happens if they were looking 90 degrees the other way? That would be nothing, right? So,
we always have a saying in, especially in games that involve PvP, when you hear that saying, they're over there, they're over here, over there and over here is not a place.
Exactly. So, the fact that we'll be able to have bearings, right, is 320, 290, 290. That will be so helpful. I mean, I do it now when I fly. I've helped people with being able to find R-Corp by telling them, go to the big tower, point to 280, 290 degrees, the airport's right in front of you, right? Oh, I didn't know that. But to be able to have that on foot and on ground when we're someplace is going to be awesome. It'll help. We won't be able to drop markers. Once we get able to drop markers, it'll be even better. But that compass piece, like you said, it is not a small thing when it comes to being able to navigate around these places. Because a lot of times I want to get in a vehicle and try to drive from one location to another, but because I have no compass heading, and because literally the sun is moving, I can't trust it. You know what I mean? So it's like, I need to have that, that tool as a resource when I'm playing the game.
Right. Just one last thing. I mean, you really don't think about how important that is, but I'm glad that it was a necessary thing for this game, but I'm glad that the way that they're doing it, that's the important part that I like.
Definitely. Okay. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Alrighty, Fist to Face. Let's bring in, I think it was Admiral Kusanagi was next. Admiral, you back?
I'm back.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about Star Map for a second. If you recall from last night, I had a pain in the butt trying to jump to Orson because there's somebody there, and we couldn't do another re-jump because of our group together beforehand. And so I had you guys jump without me. So it was like I had to go to the OM marker and then try to get it that way. And that seemed to work. So for them to actually give us a new star map that works and you can select stuff easier, oh my god, like yes, please.
You know what I'm hoping they'll do, Admiral? I'm also hoping, I know this, they haven't said this, y'all, so I'm just saying it'll be nice. Maybe in some future iteration of the star map, they'll do this. I want us to be able to filter the map. Because what you were trying to do last night, if there had been a filter,
lot of information.
What I'm saying, if there was a filter in there that said shut off group member markers, then you just would have seen the marker for the city. You know what I mean?
Right.
But because if you've got, and I've had this happen before, you got 3 or 4 of your group people already there ahead of you, and you've got these 4 names stacked on top of the marker for the city, and you can't get a good lock on. Even if you go to the map and try to do it from there, it's still difficult to do. So I'm hoping that eventually you can say, turn off POIs, turn off, satellites, turn off, if you want to filter the map to be more customizable, or if you want to have everything up there at one time and you want to see everything, you can do that too,
One other thing is you have the freight elevators listed. Does that also include, I think, cargo's getting redone? We have to do it like more manually now.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that would be great to kind of for people to understand like what like freight actually is going to entail, like needing large equipment to move these big boxes and stuff like that. I wonder if they're going to disallow us using a handheld tractor tool from using like moving the big SCU containers, and you needing a dual hand one now.
Yep.
I could see them doing that with this update.
Yep.
So
I think you're right. In fact, this week's Star Citizen newsletter, on the bottom, the sneak peek this week is of one of the new cargo elevators. It looks like it's at a base somewhere. And one of the things that they have on that picture, which caught my eye, was that the mule was in that picture. And the mule has been unusable. So the idea of the mule becoming practical in the game in some form, and I don't know what that practicality may be. Like, I do see how the mule can be. I'll tell you, people say, oh, why would I use the mule if I could use a tractor beam? I can tell you one easy reason why for right now. One of them is the fact that the UGFs, the new underground facilities, are massive. You're not going to walk with a box all the way across that. You really want to be in some type of wheeled vehicle if you need to move 1 or 2 crates somewhere. Now, true enough, I know they can come up with some other platforms that hold more crates than that, but I'm saying I'm starting to see a practical use for the mule, and I'm hoping that because they implemented it in that new picture, that new concept art that we saw, that we will start being able to put the mule to use. Because I think that, and to your point, I agree with you. I think that the handheld tractor beam is going to get a restriction on weight sizes that, like you said, we were able to pick up a freaking PTV golf cart with it. That ain't going to happen no more. And that we should be able to go up to that rifle-sized one to move larger boxes. But I'm not even sure if that should move a 32 SCU box. I get the idea of the theory of how you negate the gravity aspects of it, magnetic field, but I think that it should have a limitation to it. You shouldn't be able to pick up a ship, that's for sure. I don't think that's...
Yeah, that's why I have an MPUV, and that's why I have the mule. So I think the tractor beams right now are too strong for like people themselves. Even the two-handed one doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, well, again, that's proof of concept. I don't think that any of that is where it's supposed to be. I think it's just in there for this to be able to use it and test it out. But I do agree with you. Just like the ship prices are going to change, I think that these are going to change too. And they'll have their restrictions to them, in time. So
thank you, sir.
Okay, buddy. Thank you. Okie dokie. Very cool. Very cool. I saw Red was in here. Red, you disappeared on me. Okay. Let's see. Let's go ahead and hit the final topic then. And Red, if you want to come back in, feel free, because the next topic is kind of a continuation of this topic. I'm gonna show you guys a quick video. It's a little bit of a throwback, but we're starting this year with Soul Citizens. Our first show of the year was supposed to be a show called More in 2954. And we didn't get to do that show. So I'm going to kind of carry that theme over a little bit for my final question for the day. Will CIG deliver? Let me show you guys a video. And this was the video that CIG put out at the end of the year. It was their year in review video. And sometimes, I'm always amazed that people will say, well, CIG didn't put out a lot this year, or a lot didn't get done this year. Next year, now, every time they go back and do these retrospective videos, it's like, wow, there was a lot of stuff they did this year. It just didn't feel like it, Sometimes it's quality of life and tweaking, but sometimes it's also brand new stuff. That was my alarm telling me that I have 15 minutes. Okay. So let's take a look at this video, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
CitizenCon 2953.
Okay. So that was a quick review of all the cool things that happened in 2953. And so my question again is, will CIG deliver? Now let me put this in context too. For those of you who witnessed and went to CitizenCon, you'll remember that CIG did something that they had not done in quite a while. And that was they gave out dates. They talked about that there were certain things that they wanted to have done within the next 12 months. And I'm assuming that meant from October to October. I'll give them to the end of the year, December. I'll give them 14 months, okay? But they said that there were some things that they wanted to have done within the next 12 months. They wanted to get into our hands within the next 12 months. That's a better way of putting it. Get it into our hands in the next 12 months. And then when they got to the end of the year show, they showed us some more items that they said, we want to get these things out in 322 by the end of the year. And they did. I think the only thing that they didn't deliver was the update to fog and clouds, if I'm not mistaken. I think everything else they did get into 322 that they wanted to do. And then they said, we're going to get 323 out. And 323 is being checked on by Evocati right now. And we're in the first week of February. Not the end of February and not the beginning of March. But they seem to be moving at a decent clip, a good pace. And after that, let's see if let's assume that 323 does come out within a time frame, that projected time frame, 4 to 6 weeks. Let's just say that 4 to 6 weeks. That puts them in second quarter. Second quarter could produce a 324 or a 321.1, 323.1. I don't know what they're going to do. I haven't seen anything, heard anything. But then at the end of the year, as I mentioned, Disco said, there's some stuff we want to get out to you within the next 6 months. And Disco's the main person who always tells folks, no dates, no when. And all of a sudden now this license has been given for them to do this. And then on ISC this week, and we got an announcement that ISC and SCL's formats were going to be changing, that there would be more information given than ever before, that we'll be getting a lot more info in relation to the progress and what they're working on with CIG. And then we know that the teams, because of the state of Squadron 42 being moved into a place of being polished, that many of the team members who have been working diligently on that have now been shifted back over to work on the persistent universe and take all the things that they've developed and learned for Squadron 42 and begin implementation of them into the multiplayer world of Star Citizen, the persistent universe. So there's a lot there, a lot going on, a lot. And so my question again to you guys is, will CIG deliver? For years and years, people have said, this is the year. This is the year for Star Citizen. This is it. You know, folks have said that. We've even made a meme out of it. We've joked around about it, right? But now I'm asking the question on a very serious note. Do you think that CIG will deliver? Do you think that them putting these dates out will hang them because they've been hung before? Or do you think that they speak with such certainty and surety now, and that they're in a place as far as their development that they can speak with confidence that they will deliver to the community? So that's the question. And don't forget, click on the link. You want to come in, give me your thoughts. Can't wait to hear it. Here we go. Pops, let's get Pops in space in. Let's see, Pops.
Yeah, hey.
Yes, sir.
I think they will. I think they will deliver on 95% of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Pops, give me your vote. Hopium or copium? Which one are you gonna? Are you feeling hopeful, or you feel like I got to cope with it? Which one?
I'm gonna say both. I'm gonna say, but it's more hope.
More hopium. Okay.
Yeah,
right,
I'm gonna say it's 90% hope.
Okay.
The rest of it we will have to deal with certain little things.
Okay.
because that's life. And
all right, you're feeling positive. That's cool. Thanks, Pops.
Yeah. All right.
All right, let me bring in Togi. Togi,
what up?
Yes, sir. What you got?
All right, so for two real fast things here. Number one, that 323 build had none of the 323 features in it. So, yep.
Whoa, I'm sorry.
It had,
whoa, stop. You said the 323 build.
Yeah, had none of the 323 features.
No.
So I don't think it's
you mean the build they just put out?
Deal here.
Wait, are you talking about the build they just put out?
Yeah, the Evo build had none of the features.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the one at 322. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
So, I mean, that's kind of dubious how much that means. I wouldn't use that as a metric for how much is going on.
No, I didn't say anything about the build being complete. I said that about 322.
Yeah, it's just...
Okay. They're just working on 323. They're just working on 323.
And I think everyone knows that, I am... It'll happen when it happens.
Okay.
I kind of feel like that the kid's sitting on the doorstep waiting for his dad to take him fishing. It's going to be this weekend. He's going to actually show up.
Yeah. Okay. So you're still holding...
Nothing's
changed.
Not at all.
Nothing's changed.
I mean,
you feel?
I'm still sitting on the porch, but
that's fair.
In my heart of hearts, I know that it's probably not going to be this year.
Okay. So you're saying you don't think that the delivery of the stuff within the next 6 months and the stuff that
I
they
think
said
that they're going to get the stuff that's easy, and they're going to miss the stuff that matters. I think again, like all of those quality life features in 323. It's like paint on a wall with a house with no roof.
Okay. What would be one of the items for you that matters that you think they may not be able to pull off?
Server meshing.
Ooh. Static?
They're any.
Really?
In any capacity that matters. If they get static, it's going to be a separation of Pyro and Stanton. And so we're still going to have an entire solar system on one server, and we're not going to see any benefit in performance.
Okay.
That's the real... the real crux of the issue and the problem that I have with Star Citizen currently.
Okay. All right. Prediction. We will see. Thank you, Togi.
Yeah.
All righty. Let's bring in North End Trooper. North End.
Yes, sir. I think for anything that is related to Squadron 42 will absolutely make the deadline for this year.
Okay.
Anything that was solely built for Star Citizen PU, and the two big ones are server meshing is kind of on the fence for, but I have no hope that base building will make it.
Okay. Here's the deal. They didn't say base building would make it, so I want to make sure we keep that clear. They said that they were going to begin development in January, and that's all they said about base building. So there's no time frame in relation to base building.
Right.
I'm just
saying.
So
those are the two ones I have no hope for, but everything else that they've said that's related to Squadron 42, I absolutely have hope for because it's been polished, it's finished, and the people coming over, they're not building new technology. They're literally on the PU side now to transpose what they polished from Squadron 42 in Star Citizen.
Into Star Citizen. Okay. All right, fair enough. Thank you, North End. Alrighty, last but not least, we're going to bring in Admiral Kusanagi. I think. Maybe.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay. I think Togi needs a big brother or big sister. So if he needs me to come and like take him fishing, I'll be there for you, Togi. Just let me know.
Okay.
And that way you'll get that.
You get to go fishing, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we'll go fishing. Yeah, just you be on that porch. I'll just pick you up. I think this. I actually, I mean, if they're going to show it right now in this, they know everybody's kind of very pessimistic on these dates. I think if they're going to push this stuff to us, they might just surprise us and throw it out there. They've done that, and they did that in like one or two patches where they were like, "Oh, Evo didn't really see this." I forget what it was, and they just dropped it. So maybe they're at the point now where they don't need to they've had it for so long, they don't need to put it in the patch. They're just going to drop it for the 323. If they could put that much stuff into that and just drop it in front of us in the PU, I'd be kind of shocked. But I said it when I was watching the thing yesterday, and I was like, wow, if this is what's coming out in 323, I can't imagine what's coming out after that.
Yeah.
That's my question. What's coming? What do they got planned for? I mean, the Disco said, I think, last year that 2024 has got a lot of stuff coming out, and this is just the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very surprising to me. Everybody that that I feel this game isn't going to be quote unquote officially released until 2030 because of all the systems that have to come out.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I know people like, oh, they only need like system or something like that, and that would be okay. See a finished product.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's like the Van Duel. Anyways, but that's my take on it. Is that I feel like is if 23 comes out with all this stuff, 2024 is going to be pretty big, and that's the question. Like 2 months from now, if they deliver this, we've got a ton of stuff coming at us, like really quick, and that is the question. So right now, it's a waiting game. And they'll test what they need to test. And if they don't feel they need to test it, they're just going to drop it on our doorstep and see what we think about it.
Liberty NC in YouTube, hey Liberty, says, let's keep into perspective that 323 is not a singular patch. True, they never are. They'd have to miss a lot not to get much of the content into 323 branch. Let me say this to you guys. And I agree with what you're saying, Liberty. But let me throw this guy at you guys. You guys saw how much stuff was listed there. Let me go back a second here. Here, okay. There's a lot of stuff listed there. And CIG is saying that's in 323. I don't care if it's 323.1.2.3, but whatever, it's in that branch, 323, okay? There's a lot there. There is a lot. This is not quality of life stuff. This is some of it is, but a lot of it is implementation of new things or enhancements to things. The distribution centers are a bigger version of the current UGFs that we have. Master modes, they say that they are really ready to push forward with that. EVA is an enhancement of what we've had already. Dynamic crosshairs are new. The star map is a complete revamping of the star map. The shopping app is new. We got new missions coming in. Freight elevators are new. The character creator is an updating enhancement to that. Weapons reloading, that's new. That's something we haven't had before.
But most of this stuff isn't new for us. No. Not for SIG. I'll say SIG, because this is like, okay, new weapons reloading packing, new EVA.
What do you mean it's not new
the
for
star
us?
map.
It's not new for us.
You're right. It's new for us, but it's not new for SIG because this is Squadron 42. They're pulling the tech and just giving it to us.
No, that's what I mean by new to us. I'm not referring to new to CIG. So I'm saying I'm just mentioning that sometimes people will look at things and say, oh, these are just quality of life features. And I'm saying, no, there is a lot of new stuff that's being implemented. And my point is that if this was all quality of life and we said all of this was fitting into 323's branch, I would say probably no problem. I'm saying there's a lot here. And if CIG is not saying, and mind you, they're saying 323, whether it's 323.0, 0.1.2, whatever, that's still a 3-month branch that they're putting all this in. We have never seen CIG outline this much stuff within a one branch piece like this. So I'm saying, I believe my confidence is that they are going to pull it off. They are going to do it in 3.3 because, stand by one second. The reason why I'm saying that is because there's one more quarterly branch in there that goes from April till June, right? The question is, and CIG hinted that they want 4.0 to be mid-year. So, oh wow, Space Tomato Gaming. Space, thank you so much. Mrs. Tomato, thank you so much. Welcome over, folks from Space Tomato Gaming. I'm GriffinGamingRPG. This is Soul Voices, where we talk about issues from Spectrum, Reddit, and the Star Citizen community. Thank you so much, guys. Hope you had a great stream. Let's make sure we give a shout out to Space Tomato Gaming. Fast card if you can, please. Let them know that we really appreciate them. Thank you, Raiders, for coming over. Hope you guys are having a great Saturday. Great people over there at Space Tomato Gaming. So that's all I'm saying, Admiral. I'm saying this is unusual. Just like them giving dates is unusual, this is unusual. For them to put their necks on the guillotine, which they have avoided doing for years now. And I understand the people's cynicism and hesitancy to say, yeah, they'll do it. I do. I completely understand Togi's position. I do. I understand.
No, I get Togi's position with 4.0 and
we
with
ain't at
if that's
4.0. We ain't at
itself.
4.0. We ain't even at 4.0. He's saying
No,
this,
right.
even this. He's saying this. 3.2.
Okay, but most of this to me is just Squadron 42 elements, which I expect to be dropped in October, which is third quarter.
You think this will go in 323 October?
No, I think Squadron 42 is going to be delivered to us.
We ain't talking about Squadron 42.
No, but all these elements here, most of these elements are Squadron 42 elements, and they're just saying, "Hey, these are complete elements. We're giving them to you guys in the PU."
CIG was very clear about the fact moving things over from Squadron 42 is not just as simple as moving it over to the persistent universe. There's a whole different tech networking side to go from a single player statement to a multiplayer statement. So,
I get that. That's what I'm just going with. I see Fist here. I don't want to. I know you're short on time, so I want to make sure Fist can get in.
Okay, fair enough. All right, thanks a lot, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Alrighty. Let's bring in Fist to Face real quick. Fist, you there?
Hey, what's up? I'll be quick.
That's okay. Hang on a second before you go anywhere. Tusval, thank you for the follow. Stolichnya, thank you for the follow as well. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. Go ahead, Fist.
I'll be quick. I'm going to say Hopium. I try to stay on that side of things, and the reason how I'm able to stay on that side of things because I allow myself to basically try to, do other things. Mm-hmm. If I keep my mind, on, pressed on, like you said, like the roadmap and all of that stuff, then yeah, your mind, for me, my mind can shift into the more copium or negative side of stuff,
Okay. So back to the question. Will CIG deliver? You were at CitizenCon. You heard them say, we want to do this by the end of the year. You heard them say, we want to have this to you by the next 12 months. You heard them say, we want to have this out by the middle of 2024. My question is, will CIG deliver or will they disappoint?
I think I'm saying on the side of Hopium. I think they will deliver.
Okay, fair enough. That's fair.
That's what I mean.
That's fair.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fair. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
I'll buy that for $1. Thank you. I won't hold you to it at the end of the year. Don't worry. All right, let me bring in a little bit of Madness, and then I'm going to probably wrap it up after this. Madness, how are you?
What is up? How you doing?
It's been a while, man. Good to hear you.
Yeah. I thought I know you were quick. I know you're rushing, but I just thought, they're talking about something interesting. Squadron 42, and I pop in and say hi, and just very quickly just say, look, the person saying, will they deliver? Is that the question?
Yes.
Well, my question is, we're getting the A team now. We've had the B team for freaking years. Do you know what I mean? Like that. It's been tech. They've been figuring out the tech, and now we're getting the A team. So yeah, of course they're going to deliver because this is it. This is the dream teams coming over now. This is the guys with the experience who know how to deliver and who are going to come in and deliver it. So the answer is absolutely 100%. My question is why have we waited so long? Do you know what I mean? It's been so freaking long. Why are they not working on it earlier? That's just my thought.
I think you raise a good point. I think that the evidence, if we want to use this as evidence, people don't have to. But I think that when we saw 2 years ago, when CIG allocated, as you mentioned, all that talent and said, we're going to focus on Squadron, we're going to get it ready, we're going to get it out, even though they were working on tools and stuff, they literally pulled people and they told us, we're going to move people over because we want to get Squadron done. And we saw them, they said, within the next 2 years. And lo and behold, 2 years later, boom, they do it. So now, as you mentioned, all that talent is now being refocused back toward the persistent universe. Now, again, if it's because certain elements needed to be built for Squadron first, and they've always said this, right? Things that go into Squadron trickle down to the persistent universe, not the other way around. So again, maybe that's one of the reasons why we didn't see a lot of things. We saw some stuff, but all the things that we saw at CitizenCon this year, some of those things are listed here for what they want to put in for 323. And again, if there's going to be a 324, maybe, or 323.1, I don't know. But I do think that we're in and I'm only saying this, Madness, because again, the general rule for CIG over the last few years is don't give out dates and don't say wins. They've stayed away from that because it's bitten them in the butt several times in the past. And for them now to be willing
they
to
can do it now. It's been how many years has it been since the last time they did it? Like all those people are either dead, gone, and given up. You know what I mean? It's like there's a whole generation, new generation of people they can disappoint. You know what I mean? It's like they just got a clock and they wait. They go tick, 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 and they look at the clock and they go, okay, now we can say a date again because all those people now they ain't. But they're off playing something else.
Trust me, there's still a lot of them that remember. But I get your point. So no, but thank you. I appreciate you coming by and saying hi because I haven't talked to you in a little while. Okay.
Yeah, man, no worries, man. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. But they are going to deliver. There's no question about it. It's clear that the A team is on board now.
Okay.
It's it's exciting. Okay. We should all be. It's exciting. It's exciting times ahead.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Have a good one. All right, last one. I got to bring it almost. I know I'm past my time, Bando. Thank you for the reminder because my alarm went off, but I'm going to get almost in real quick and I'm going to get out of here. Almost, you there?
Hey, what up, buddy?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I got to say this.
Make it quick. I got to go.
Based line plots say take 2 dots, right, and a path, and then you get a third one. You can chart a path based on the past 3 months of what we've seen, and this is before if they've officially moved everybody over to the PU. We can already see that they've been kicking it up into high gear. We've been getting a lot more stuff. So I wouldn't say it's hopium. I would say that more likely if you don't believe that they're moving already, then you're just kind of jaded, bruh. That's what I'm saying.
But understandably, I can understand
use
why
logic.
people feel a certain kind of way. Yeah, but listen, people tried to use logic in the past and their logic failed, right? So I agree with you. I think that there's stronger evidence now. I agree with you 100% that there's way more, what would we call it? What's the word I'm trying to say? More concrete evidence now that they can commit to what they're saying now. You know, it's not just like we hope to get it done, but that they really will try to get these things out. I feel confident about it right now.
Yeah, I'm very confident that they'll get almost everything that they said, if not everything, plus more.
Okay.
In this year.
Cool. All right. Almost says almost. They will do it. All right. Thanks, buddy. All right. I got him in. All right. Listen, guys, thank you guys so much for being here today. I know I'm wrapping up a little bit earlier. Nubifier, good to see you, my friend. Haven't talked to you in forever. Hope you are doing well. You guys make sure you guys check out Nubifier. He's always such a cool person. We got to have him back on the show pretty soon too. Yeah, this was a lot that we covered today within the hour. I'm sorry, I do have to leave earlier today than normal. But again, thank you guys for being here. Space Tomato Gaming, Tomato, Mrs. Tomato, thank you guys so much for sending your loved ones over here from the garden. Really appreciate folks who hung out with us today. Let me give you guys a quick overview of what we got coming up real quick. Today is Podsat Saturday. It's the day where we partner with other community content creators for Star Citizen community to talk about Star Citizen, to fill your afternoon and evening with Star Citizen content. Right after us later on this evening, I'm leaving a little earlier than normal today. We normally go over and send you guys over to Paul Shelley with the Captain's Table, where he brings on content creators and other people from the community to talk about the game Star Citizen. And then after that, he sends folks over to the good old boys, the OGs of Star Citizen, Relay, to spend some time with them in the evening so that you guys have a whole day of nothing but Star Citizen content. But hopefully you get a chance to sit in. By the way, please sit in on Paul's show today, Captain's Table. Our very own Captain Serious Fun, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I got my information right. Formerly known as BBG, Big Black Gaming. He is going to be over there for the first time as a guest. So we'd love for you guys to go over and support him in particular, but even more as always, support Paul's show. Such a great informative community show on Saturday afternoons. I think other than that, that is about it. We are going to set up for a raid because we're going to send the love to someone else. Fastcard is telling me to go to HC Vertigo, and I'm trying to see, is he on? I'm assuming he's on still at Fastcard because I didn't see him on the list here, but I will make sure that we go over there. We are going to send you guys over to HC Vertigo. When you guys get there, let them know that you came from the Soul Citizens. Send some love over there. Oh, I forgot to mention about tomorrow. Tomorrow, Sunday, our Sunday show, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure that you guys swing by, join us tomorrow evening. We're going to be talking about dynamic events. We're going to be talking about the history of dynamic events, hearing from Tony Z, how this whole thing got started, where it's progressed through from starting out with, believe it or not, Jumptown became a dynamic event, Xenothreat dynamic event, Siege of Orison dynamic event, and some other cool ideas that we're going to be talking about that we'd like to see for dynamic events in the Star Citizen universe. So that's going to be tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time. hopefully you guys can join us for that and have a lot of fun there. Okay. Let's see. We're going to set up our raid. Here we go. We're going to send you guys over to HC. Again, thank you guys for being here on a Saturday. Thank you for following and coming back. I know I've been gone for 6 weeks, but appreciate you guys being here. Hopefully we'll see you guys on tomorrow. Stay safe, take care of yourselves, and as always, peace, love, and soul. We'll see you later. Ciao.